I'm talking, my mic is off. This is what you get if you get somebody so young to the point of they are here. Thank you, folks. Thank you for tuning into the Liberal Public Radio. We really, really do appreciate all of you again tonight. Please share this video to as many people as possible. We also going to be doing that. So give me a moment. Give me a moment here while I try to share this video as much as possible. It's Friday evening. If you don't have anything else to do, stay with us and let's have fun together. Samson told Liberal Public Radio. Let's do this. My mic is on. I'm talking plenty. But then again, that's what we do here on LPR. we say thank you very much for joining us again tonight. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have you here. What we're trying to do right now is to share the show to as many people as possible. And so please help us share the show to my brothers and sisters so that they will come and listen to the liberal talking tabata. Again, thank you. That's the much I'm going to do it tonight. Thank you very much for joining. I'm sitting in tonight for Mr. So, who's going to be joining me here very shortly. Mr. So going to be joining here and taking over his show. So, but I will gain hard time. I'm just going to sit down here and say, yeah, I can't take show. It's not happening. When he come in, I'll gain small hard time. Then I say, okay, not take show. So when I can't say I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here when he come. Oh, Mr. So, yeah, Mr. So, yeah, he sure. And not like that. Oh. Mr. So, come in here tonight. We're going to get a little bit hard time before we turn the show over to him. I'm not here for Kumba here tonight. A very serious business here. Samson told La Bropa Radio, folks, this is what we do here on LPR. And I want to thank all of you again. I want to thank all of you on this Friday evening. I believe Jerry Backer is going to be joining us, but for some reason, Jerry, your phone, your camera is way on the floor. Your camera is way on the floor. We can't see anything here. So if I don't know what I will keep you over there small so you will put inside the gun if I was LPR, we already start enjoying ourselves. Okay, Jared, when you're ready, just put your thumb up. We'll bring you in. When you're ready, okay, he's ready. He's ready, and we're gonna start the show right away. Thank you, Jared, for joining us tonight. We appreciate it, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I did double tax. My granddaughter she was here. I put the laptop on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm using
If you look at somebody that was climbing the palm tree.
Sure, yeah. Now I put the laptop down there. Now I'm using the computer. Then
All right. Well, thank you. Again, folks, Samson told La Brofa, I'm sitting in for Mr. So, who's going to be joining over very shortly here to take over the show. But like I said, I'm not giving a show just like that when he come. I will gain hard time small before he can take the show. And you not just come and say, oh, yeah, he's sure. Yeah. What you think I sung a wallflower or anything? No. But, Jerry, what's on your plate this afternoon? There's lots of things going on in our country, though. Okay, all right. So let's we'll come back to you, Jerry. Folks, there's lots and lots of things going on in our country. There's no question asked. I don't know what is going on with us, but people that's supposed to be doing good in the country. And then my question: the more the people do these things, the more I ask this question: who are we? Who are we? Just today, Jerry? I'm bringing you in. Is that okay? Will you put your thumb up? Okay, he's not ready yet. So MCSS, some of the stuff I already MCSS people all over the place. Eh? They're suspending here and there. Yeah, you can say the president doing what for suspend, but why would they even do these things to be suspended in the first place? The president didn't call you to come help him so that he will suspend you. So why were you? What is going on? What is going on with Liberia? Maybe we need to do like Kakula was saying last night. Maybe we need to just go ahead and say, you know what? You guys starting this thing. Any minister, anybody you steal, there's a corruption, and you found guilty, we take you to the poll and give you 25 lashes. I think I would rather have 25 lashes than to execute anybody for stealing. I don't think I want to go that far. But Jerry, let me bring you in. What do you make of it? What do you make of
it? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us. I would say thank you for having us. I know there was a good discussion last night. I wrote some piece as I was watching you, but I couldn't come last night. But there's issues that we need to look at. Not look at the genesis of our country. The foundation, anything that you do in life, there must be a foundation. And the foundation of Liberia was not, I mean, we can debate on it, but the perception, the way our country was set up. And if we look back, that's what haunting us today. Let's fast forward. Maraseli had the opportunity to restructure our entire government after the Civil War. She was the first president, first female president, the Republic of Liberia, beside in West Africa. So let's go back and look at 1948, 49. History teaches us the indigenous were not allowed to come to the city. You have to have a bond to come to the city. Even for you to come to America, you have to put a $10,000 bond for you yourself to come to this country. And the perception still exists. But let me say this. I think I mentioned it last night. We have three categories of Liberians in Liberia. One, we got a country. Two, we got a country conquer, and we got a conquer. The three attributes, that's the one hurting our country today. Let me extend on that. The like a question you asked last night, you stay asking it. Where is our role model today? The problem we are facing, who is our role model today? When you Samson too, there's somebody that you are looking up to. That was your role model. You idolize somebody. You wanted to be that person, but you saw that person. Hmm? Like when I was in high school, the first time I showed or see Cesar Dene, I said I wanted to get into politics. And when I was in high school, I used to dress like Cesar Dene. And most of the people myself who went to Shadow Tower in the late 70s, in the early 80s, they call me Cesar. That's my nickname. And so these people had an impact on you and myself. And when I joined the police, I met people. When I saw them, the men, Elison Hammer, his soul rest in peace. The way they dress, the way they take care of themselves. So we had a role model. People that you look up to, people that you wanted to be admired. Who are our role model today in our country? In the 21st century. We are just 25 years into our 21st. After Civil War now, we are 25 years. Hmm? So, Mr. Toa, the question that you are asking, they are good questions, but let's look in the mirror. It's about time for Liberians to look in the mirror and look at ourselves. Let's look in the mirror.
So let
Who
me
is our
ask
role
you
model
now.
right now?
Let me ask you now, Jerry. There were certain people in the country that you were idolizing because of their behavior, because they carry themselves in public, and because the way they address people in public. We don't know what happened behind the scene. We don't know their family condition and everything. But when they come in public, the way they carry themselves, the projection, some of the things some of us admire. But the question now is this: was it not when they were behaving like that? Were they not able to lay the foundation that their behavior, as good as they were, that it will be able to be carried on? Or are you saying that the changes in the society, as the society changes, so goes with the behavior that comes with that particular time? Like Mari was saying yet the other day, those people that you were talking about, they were the two-way party and the Congo people type group society, and then the coup came and turned things around. Okay. You want also join us? Just send us a link. We'll join you. Say. Okay. So, are you seeing these people were not able to, because of the broken bound, if you want to call it that, or the service, or the share between that time and when the coup came, coup left all of that behind and brought in a new society and new behavior. Is
Yeah,
that what we're having?
yeah. Yeah, but let me say this: in psychology or sociology, there's something they call transfer aggression. Transfer aggression. Even in investigation, they call it contaminated transfer. I will look for the word. It's not coming to my mind, but called transfer aggression. So all the things that are being transferred. Look, um, the question you asked is a good question. I worked with the late Emmett Hammer when you were appointed as chairman of the election commission, then they changed it to a special election commission. And one thing I learned from Emmett Hammer, for the years I worked with him, one day, may his soul rest in peace. I never used that man never used the word F word. F word with all the time I work with. And if I would provoke, I mean, come on now. We work with here at Young Boy at that time, 20, maybe 20, 24, 25 years old at that time. You know, you think you know it all. And that man never one day used the F word or S word or the BS word. So today, Mr. It's I'm not saying I'm perfect, but for me to use the word is very hard. And these are people who look up to. Look, what's going on here? On Sunday floor. On Sunday floor. People cursing people more than wood, using the kind of profanity. Where are we going? Who are the people are we looking up to? These people. Even though I'm not saying these people they might have their own past, but we also have to look at the people. It's the in psychology called learning behavior. Hmm? Transfer aggression, learning behavior. I mean, I know you have this psychology introduction this evening, but these are things that are happening. The environment
Sister Goya,
also
hold
plays
on
a.
1 minute,
Hmm?
Jerry. Sister Goya, please join us. We need to pick your brain on some of these things here. You need to join us and give us some of your own opinion on some of these things
Teacher,
that we're talking about
teacher
because
experience.
you have it within you to be involved. Join us, please. Go ahead, Jerry.
So this I think is social environment. Psychology teaches us the environment has also impact on your life, how you're brought up, how things change, social behavior, social integration, learning behavior. Okay, so all these things there, these are things. Look, here you are, Mr. Probably with the same age group, but when we're going to school, you wanted a name to be on an honor roll. Hmm? You wanted your name to be on honor roll.
Hmm.
That when your name, when they put that honor roll up, you want your name to be there. Today, fine, son, thank you. Something just came to my mind. And the same question you asked, who are we today? Look at the generation that it is going on today in Liberia. Hmm? The Bang boys, the Pimpin boys, and the Keke boys. Look at them today. Nobody want to go to school. That generation is completely evaporated in our society. Hmm? In our society. Nobody want to go to school. All they want to do now to make quick money. Where are the future of these individuals? Thousand, and then they just want to ride a bike from Moravia to Cape Mount, from Cape Mount to Grand Gila to Lofa County, all over the county. And they don't even want to go to school. And the second thing I want to bring to your mind, I just thought about it today because of the thing I started making some research. The how you call it? Those are doing the gold and diamond business in our country, especially the gold. None of the children want to go to school. How do they going to leave from that poverty to be where they are? You must have came from, in fact, from Grand Gila to Bia, the same distance from Totan to Bia, you know. So we came from there and we lived with people in that Monrovia and we were able to elevate ourselves to you myself for people to listen to us today. Where are we? So it's deeper than what you think it is.
Thank you. But let
Social
me say,
land.
Terry, thank you for joining us,
Oh,
Rescue.
today,
I'm hoping that
today,
Cecil will join this
today Friday,
conversation.
you see your member said.
Yeah, yeah, I can see the
So
cool on your side. Oh yeah,
let me,
that sun's
let me,
shining. My daughter just came from San Francisco. She crying. It's too hot. 60 something year. But I hope Cecil will join us. But Terry, thank you for joining us. But
so
Jerry, let me ask this question then. If the line you're
this,
taking,
so these are
let me
these are
ask
these
this
are issues.
question.
These are social. These are. Mhm.
Jerry, let me ask this question. So let's suppose that yes, some people that had. So basically, what I'm assuming that you seem to be suggesting is that the war must have taken us back years, not necessarily based on. So what's going on here? Let me put it back here so I can see my fine face. But on a very serious note, when they walk in, there were people. Sister Orita, good evening. Thank you for joining us. There was people that were killed during the war. Many Liberians died, but I'm not going to say the brain of the country, but those that people were supposed to consider role model, many of them died. Even in the countryside, I'm not talking about educated role model. I'm talking about countryside. When they ran out of Liberia and went to foreign land, the Liberian young people pick up the behavior of their host country. The young people, the old people that went over that was then considered role model before leaving, their spirit, before dying, their spirit died because they're no longer in the familiar places. They are now a stranger in other people's country. And the culture, most of the places they were, the culture was not familiar with them, to them. And as a result of that, I believe that many of them just give up. And that's why you have so many of our brothers and sisters die in these foreign lands. And they are buried in these foreign land from the villages. And when they die, the spirit of what it takes to make a global village in that area also die with many of them. And so when those that were fortunate enough to be alive and come back to Liberia after the war, they were not able to cultivate, they were not able to really grow that culture back to what it's supposed to be, to pick up from what the culture was. When they came back, many of the young people that came back with them, they came back with foreign ideas, foreign culture, I would say. For example, the river who fish we were not supposed to eat before the war. They came back, that river fish became a food for them because they were hungry. When they came back, the tree that the old people, when you broke your foot, they will come and rub it like this, rub their hand, and just rub your foot. And eventually your foot will heal. That power no longer exists. We were not able to actually deep into ourselves. Even and I don't know much about pro society, but I read one time there were people that were attacking the pro society. Those were the cultural value, those were the backbone we have. I believe those things no longer are there. You have the traditional chiefs that are so politically involved. They put their hands, lift the hands of a politician that have nothing to do with their political, to their cultural value. These are, for me, these are things that continue to erode the value of the society. And as long we are not able to recognize that, because that's what they think before, like you correctly stated, when you were in school, elementary school, when they said we're going to have a school closing today, if you know you didn't do well, your heart beating, you're scared because they will read your report card in public. We don't have that anymore. People fail LU tests and they don't care. They test the people. I fail, I'll try again. No, nothing to make you shame. You are not afraid to embarrass your family, so you go in public and steal. And your family name comes with that stealing, but you don't care because you don't see the value in your family. You are not alone that carrying the name. You got cousins, you got uncles, you got aunties that carry the same name. Because of those lack of value system, I believe strongly that we will continue to suffer. Let me come to Terry. Terry, Mr. So, I'm sitting in for Mr. So tonight. Hopefully, he will join us here very shortly. And you'll come up with Tabata, all the good thing we're talking now, just be for nothing because you will come here and try to wrap everything we say here. He will try to wrap it around the president neck. I said the president is the moral law of value system in Liberia. But what do you make of my argument? So, but anyhow, you've been saying this thing here. What's on? What do you? What would be, Mister Sese Goya? If you are not busy, join us, please. Go ahead, Terry.
Mr. Bako, how you doing, sir?
I'm
The
doing wonderful.
security analyst. Look like you chilling this evening on the Friday.
Today
And
is Friday.
Liver, we've been talking the thing over and over. Like I said to you, right? All the thing that what you talking during those days with all those norms and things, the country was still in a serious impoverished state. People were still laying on the bamboo in the village. That bamboo stick there that you left in the village and came to America, when you go back there, you will see people still laying out on it. That was not a good life. All right. Belief system, when people relinquish their belief system, the power in what they believe, they loses the power. How you were talking about people used to rob or leave on the foot, blah blah blah, and it used to work, but now it don't work. The reason it don't work is because when the mind get exposed to other interior development, exterior development, it changes their belief system, and it is their belief system that made those things to work. So because of what they were told by ancestors and previous generation, so it made them to believe. It is your belief that make a thing to work. So once you relinquish the belief, sometimes it weakens the power for the forces that are behind those things to work, and all of that. But like what we say, you fix a problem. So take for example, right? Or the motorcyclists. I know that is very bad for them by trying to stop them from coming to the city. I don't think that is a professional thing to do. But by putting restrictions and regulations, it prevent the motorcyclists from getting hurt because most of them zip zapping between the cars. They get caught up between the stuff and they die. The truck roll over their heads. So they're telling them that from certain distance, you can't travel to certain distance. I think the police officer just need to create some barrier to limit the distance, but to just cut them off completely is going to have a problem. But that is what the police is trying to do, maybe to help to fix the problem. But now, by fixing that problem, become a problem because the government do not have any job that they have created for those to absorb those people that are riding motorcycles. So when you tell the motorcyclist now don't travel in this distance, how will he make money to take care of his family and pay his school fees and do the other things? So that what we're saying to solve the problem in Liberia is hard. It's almost like an old vehicle. When you face the tire, you think is it that only the tire get problem. You go low. Soon you face that tire, you put new tire there. Something else will start having problem on the car. That is how Liberia looking. So when you fix one thing, another problem develop because the entire system need to be recalibrated. And to do that, you need people that will engineer those things. And unfortunately, we only got few people like they got Josiah Joker. I was saying the other day, if we have about 10 Josiah Jokers in a country, Liberia will be shrinking. 10 Josiah Jokers, you have them in the country, Liberia will be shrinking. So, like the breaking down of houses, people selling on the street, they move them, they get angry, they tell you, say, we'll vote against you 2029. You're fixing the problem, but when you fix the problem, the fixing of the problem becomes the problem. That is what it is. So it becomes difficult for us to change the narrative, like what you are saying. People laying down, people in the interior there, they laying down bamboo. Sometimes when you go, like way back, they used to say that the trucks that used to go to Greater the Road, the truck will hitch. And the reason why the truck will hitch in the mud is because some an old man in the village holding the tire in the mud. So as a result, development never used to go to those communities. But was it true, or was it just a story to tell the people, to make the people to feel that somebody is very powerful? Because we see in America here that bulldozer can go anywhere, and not that American people don't have talisman. The talisman that I have seen here is more than the talisman that I've seen in Liberia.
But
Terry,
the owner is here, please.
Terry,
Did you introduce?
you give me 1 minute here.
Hold on one second. I heard you in the background. So, old man, two or other folks like your guy, you sit on the network instead of talking the issue, you gossip about people. When they back come here, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. And tell the men of God, you unable to look in the scripture and tell the old folks, this is not what Moses did. Moses led the people to the promised land.
Who are you? You Moses now?
No, I'm telling him to have told you guys, the two other guys.
So,
the
Mr.
thing
Parker and myself agreed to sit for you tonight until you can come and you take over your show. And I think to do an honorable thing as a CEO, you will come. Don't even call my name, but you say, Mr. Co-host, thank you very much for doing that. You come in clandestinely. You just force your way into this thing, and we're not ready to give you the show. Just like that, folks. I told you earlier that the man will come for his show, but I'm not prepared to give it to him freely. And that's exactly what
you have no choice. You had the right to say no, but you decide to say yes because
I'm the board chair.
Okay,
but let Terry land, Mr. Sewell, your mic. Let Terry land, then you can have
what
your
I want
show.
you to recognize, you can moderate, but if I call you, when I call you to an order, you must understand.
No, but don't come bring out call you to, because when we say something, my buddy and myself, when we say something you don't like, then you want to call us to order. So just run your show, let Terry land, you can have your show. My hand out of it now. My hand out of it. You take your show. Say you want your show, you can have your show tonight.
Complete surrender.
Terry land.
Yeah, he not here yet. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, that's it. That's just it. I think that the problem with us is the problem. To fix the problem means we are causing another problem. So I think that's the reason why we can't fix it.
Downstairs here to the people. The owner is here.
Oh, you see? You see? All right, folks. This is Samson to Jerry back on. Thank you.
Let me say this.
Let me tell you, man, show Jerry back on. Thank you very much. Terry Collins, thank you for the rescue, for joining me tonight. Mr. So is here. Tonight, here's his show. I was just sitting in for a few minutes. You guys and myself are just trying to occupy. Let him have his show. Mr. So, please take over your show the way you want to run it. Thank you.
I love that, the way you want to run it, because you're not telling the people anything here.
Here we go.
You're not telling them anything. You came to rescue, and apparently you're having people hair in the bucket, drowning them in the bathtub. And this is why every night when you guys come here, you're trying to do the damage control. You will explain. At the end of the day, you will go take some 800,000 milligrams. You see what I'm a free guy? because I was on the side of the Liberian people to allow them to make a choice. Instead, you abused the microphone. You brought in Jerry Bacon. Jerry Bacon, I thought he was how you call it, a guy for the Liberian people, not knowing. He brought George. We are gonna let George here on the highway and now bring Mbwaka, Jeremiah Kun, Samuel Koga, and what his name there, the other people. So this is what we got, Terry. You know, I know you said something here, but these guys, these gentlemen will not agree with you because everything is right. And that's who they are. Thank you for being here. But I love you guys because we just always have to have this sort of conversation. But
Where your co-host?
That's not your business. Don't worry about him. The co-host is doing some research. The mess you get us into. That's what we are trying to. I think I kind of skimmed through that video. The only person I can count on will give me good information is Terry. Did I hear Jeremiah Kun saying today? I don't know. It's like, like when you give somebody sasewu, we need to keep the peace. We need to do. You heard that? Was that a recent video? Something he spoke somewhere today?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because you don't. Yeah, because you don't want to. Because these are things when it happen, you don't want to talk about it. But I know it's true. But gentlemen, welcome to Liberal. Thank you. I'm not too ungrateful, except that when you decide to polarize and have this sort of conversation, you guys wait the way you want you and Jerry back on to run the show, then it's a problem. The only person that I can kind of count on here a little bit is Terry because he brings some balance and proportionality to the conversation. But the both of you, no, I don't trust you. But let's have a conversation. Good evening, Mr. Bacon. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm good. And
well, you don't want to answer
I
me?
know you. Each time you come here, I said I'm doing good. Oh, what else do you want me to say, sir?
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe if you have something, some hidden agenda, then just bring it out. Don't be a man. Just bring it out. If you have hidden agenda.
Yeah, I thought all of them confused and going there share. You feel free, gentlemen. We can have a conversation.
but let me say this. Let me say this. I know let me say this, Mr. Toh. You see, what happened in Liberia for the past coming to a decade or more than a decade now. I want you to think about this on a different way. Where is the Liberia dream? In the 19th century, in the 21st century, Liberia was a beacon of West Africa. In fact, the entire Africa continent. Everybody wanted to come to Liberia. Liberia was the godfather. All the countries that are within West Africa or within most of the African nations, Liberia gave birth to them. Beside them, Ivory Coast, Guinea, all the other countries before they get independent. Most of them get independent in the 60s or maybe in the late 50s. So there was a dream of Liberia, the integrity of Liberia, upper mobility, people moving up. Today, where are we? Where is the Liberian dream? So your question you asked, who we are. These are the questions or the leadership in our country we need to ask ourselves. Where are we? How come we're the beacon of the entire Africa? And today, we are to the bottom. So it is not. Hold on. So let me do this. Let me say this. Let's look at Lanco. When Lanco came to Liberia, who brought Lanco to Liberia? He was one of the person who engineered for Lanco to come to Liberia. Was the late Emmett Hammer, who had the Goodrich, the beer Goodrich in Bombay Hills. So these are entrepreneurs who was bringing company, opportunity, job opportunity upper mobility, that people will move up the ladder in Liberia. Today, they are all evaporated. So, folks, it is time for us to sit down. Where are we? Where's the Liberia dream?
Where are we?
People need to climb the ladder.
You don't want to be asking that kind of question. We should be asking you. You guys should be providing an answer. Where are we?
Listen, sir. Okay, fine. So you asked me the question.
Where
Let me
are
answer
we?
it.
Where are you? Where are you guys taking this country? Where are we?
Sir, so you asked me the question. Can I reply then? Can you give me the opportunity? Give me the audience. How long Baka been in office?
Terry would be the best. Let's Terry lay the foundation. You talk all of your thing. You and your liberal can share notes here. Terry, this is a complete hypocrisy for Jerry Bacon and liberal progressive to kind of ask us, where are we? We should be telling them, where are we? They brought us into this picture. They got us to this point. We are drowning. They do not have the logistic to rescue us. And he turned around to ask me, where are we? You don't know where we are? I should tell you. Vandalizing the speaker door, removing the speaker to forcibly violating the constitutions from the executive, bringing in your own speaker, that sort of gula type of government. You want me to tell you where we are? You need more of that? Terry, can you tell us where are we? Maybe let's teach these guys.
You want me? Okay, go ahead, Terry. That will come. No, Terry, go ahead. I will come. Thank you.
Well, I think since they post something here, we are to the Tier Wangbe Bridge. The attire shall be built in.
Exactly.
You know the attire shop. The attire shop. That this is how they build attire shops.
I don't know.
But but you in charge, CEO, tell us where we are. Where are we?
I am in the forest. I'm lost. I was in the city, and people.
I'll tell you where we are. I'll tell you where we are.
Hold. Here, I'm going to come to you. Terry asked, Terry, I am wondering at this point in time, seeing the directions of my country. And I know they are unhappy. Yes, the motorcyclists, there should be some regulation, but for the most part, these people, sometimes their actions is based on public sentiment without strategic plan, because sometimes you have to have a conversation. It is quite true, but these things, it require a lengthy conversation. Well, these conversations here, I don't think that much, because it'll always have a sort of backlash. There must be some regulations to kind of like, there are ways that you can stop people doing stuff. I passed through Ghana, and I got on a taxi while in transit, going to my hotel to go to library, and I start seeing around. Every motorcyclist, you must wear a helmet before you even do. But I don't know whether there's a limitation, but every motorcyclist that I saw in Accra with my own eyes, not one, not two, not three, they have. And then I asked the cameraman, I said, why everybody here, this is a little bit different. Everybody here wearing helmet. Then the cameraman say, yes. If you don't wear it, the fine that they will impose, not police going to take something on the side. But again, in order to put all of those things under control, the officer themselves, they must be taken care of. Because if you create a condition, the officer are going to take bribery where they can get paid. You have the senators, you have the representative, the actual people that are doing the job, putting their lives at risk, staying in the streets, directing traffic, fighting armed robbers, dangerous people in society. And they just in like a t-shirt and face cap. You go, you come back the same day, next day, they in that. People don't even value what you do. Jerry Bacon knows why. Jerry Bacon those days, when you dress, you see him look like the late Dempster and all of those kind of people, properly attired, neat uniform. But the question now,
I like to see him in a suit.
And you know the guy got a go high. That's the only good thing I like. But he got a go high. The uniform so nice and great on it. But now, I'm just telling you, I'm not as biased as you are. If there's a good side, I always talk it. But for he to come now to come ask us where are we,
Mr.
then that's
So,
a different thing. But let me
Mr.
just
So,
bring you in.
let me help you tonight. It seemed like when you came on and you saw Mr. Bacon, Mr. Toe, and Mr. Collins, and didn't see any other, you can't see Walter Carter, you can't see Dr. Marley. I think that perhaps knock you off of your stool tonight, and you're trying to find your footing, but we will help you. When the question is, where are we? This is who we are. Those of us that support this government, when we see something that is not right, we say it. We are not embarrassed and we are not afraid. It's just to indicate to you that we are not a praise singer. No. The issue about Liberia, and I know my answer, you're not going to like it, but then what? Go sue me. I'll say what I got to say. The issue about Liberia presently, it is not about President Wakai. If you have, but then you do. You were one a leader. You still are, but you led an organization with more than 4 or 5 branches all over the United States. And you know, not every one of those leaders from these branches have the same capacity to produce. You know that. How many employees you fire? How many employees you fire? You fire faster. But what you did was, you wanted to make sure that your administration functioned. And you have meetings with those people. And you let them know you're not producing. We are in this together as a team. I was there. I saw the way you operated. So it's not like you
It's
have
not
it.
about
Mr. So,
we are
please
talking
let
about
it
a sovereign
talk.
nation. We are talking about
No,
like
no.
that.
You're
Don't
not
try
going to
the
bamboozle
conversation.
me. You're not going to bamboozle me into agreeing with you yet tonight. So let me learn. So let's take it up to the next level. You should be one of those who sympathize and continue to sympathize with the president of the Republic of Liberia.
For what?
Because you have seen the leadership business. You know how leadership works. So you should have a sympathy. You should be sympathizing with the president. Now, let me give it to you.
Flying from
Where are
Tanzania
we,
to Addis Ababa to
Mr. So, Mr.
Kentucky
So,
to
Mr. So,
India,
forget about the president flying.
Japan.
Let me say this. President Wakai hasn't a means put his hand up to say, I'm going to leave. Liberian people agree with him. And you have so many. You have so many. I've been calling you all night. You coming now. You were supposed to come when Mr. So are not here. Now you can't here now. I hope you take Mr. So's house tonight. But let me just say this. When President Wakai put his hands up and said, I'm going to leave, he's an intellectual person. You're in trouble. You're in trouble tonight. You're going to find me how to redeem yourself. I will help you. So Mr. President Wakai decided, I'm going to find the brightest, the most experienced, the most capable people among my Liberian citizenry and bring them on board. And ask each and every one of those people to join him.
Look.
Now, Mr. So, will you please don't look me?
Let me finish. We in a full house. We're not here to do a fairy tale sort of endless story.
Mr. So, will you please? You see, this is what you do. When somebody is, here we go. Don't jump over nobody here tonight. Nobody dying on the show for you to jump over anything.
Don't come bring majority black here. Anyone
I can't join one day, but I can't join one child support today. So we need that.
I don't understand why. That should
let
be
me
an
folks. No, on a very
everything is just, oh my goodness.
So when President Brackett brought these people, if they are not functioning, it is his duty to find out why. So let's give him some latitude, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Goya, good to have you. I know you're a busy man. You're always in the background there, throwing punches and all of that. Good to have you. How you doing, buddy?
Oh man, I can't complain. God is good, but I've been very busy to our audience. I'm sorry I've been gone for a long time, but it has been crazy. I've been following the shows, the many shows. I've just been choosing my battles the few days with Tai Wongbe and all the preachers and
Yeah,
all the
because I learned what time he hired you. I say what?
I'm the construction engineer. You saw that bridge? You saw the bridge we built on there? We said we're not calling Mr. So, Mr. Togo, with too much trouble. You want all the other calculation and the other one, we just put our bridge down. We're finished with it. No water under the bridge, but we put it out over my head.
That the same man that brought the rest area stuff. You know, sometimes, no, on a very serious note, sometimes they mean well, but they do not consult.
It doesn't mean well. When I
why you put on our road? Why you put on the power station?
The power station.
The power station.
Anyway, it was a greeting, but we'll come back to me. It's good to see all of you. Mr. Barker, my own brother, the Archbishop, it's nice to see you back. And you know, my big brother. I haven't been on the show for a long time, but I know we've done it before. But I just wanted to put it in a space before I see that our deepest condolences to Achimo Fredericks and his wife on the passing of their daughter. Very strong supporters of LPR, and on a personal note, very strong supporters of mine. Every time I do a nonprofit work, I know Achimo would say if it has anything to do with children with disability and anything, he was just like 200, 300, 400 in honor of his daughter. So I know they're hurting right now. And I do have his blessing to announce it. So I just want to say on behalf of LPR and my own self, man, my brother Achimo and our sister, Mrs. Fredericks, our deepest condolences to you.
Yeah, sister, you're quite correct. And in fact, you told me, I didn't know that. And finally, we managed to connect. I talked to Achimo briefly, the madam. We had a chat and all of that. They sent me the information. It just I came on late. And by the grace of God, it's time. You know, when people are there for you, this thing is somebody don't have to be your biological. And I know Mr. and Mrs. Clark, they have supported the work of LPRA as dated as far back 3-4 years ago. Remember, we had some sort of fundraiser with the students in Morocco here, and during the election. When people trust you and give you, we don't usually do cash out Zelle stuff here. No, you have to do something, let people see what you are doing out of the evaluation they gave. And by the time we put it on, when I go low boom boom, I thought like, who this person? And in fact, he went as far don't announce. I'm like, no, this is not a secret thing. We got to tell people who gave to us. So by the grace of God, I've been everything possible. I saw the little girl picture, beautiful. He get 28, just passed away. That's touching. And we're going to be there. Stand with them. When people support you in time of crisis. This time, this is the first time seeing this so-called board chair to be so very active, given like you got to go and we want to do everything to go, you know. And when you operate like that as a board, then we know that you're a board chair. But you want to be talking for nothing board chair talk, then you're not a correct man. So all of us, we are in sympathy with them. Disseminating the picture. We're going to do some stuff on there, and we're going to be announcing it. But we're going to be there. Those who, especially, it's what they call this city. It's in Philadelphia, Chester, something. I think just right outside of Philly. So any of you who around that area are going to put that information up, maybe by Sunday. But other than that, Goya, thank you so much for even letting me know. I didn't even know, but I knew she got missing from online here. I knew something was in right, maybe something not to that extent until you broke that information. That's what makes all of us family. But good to have you. Welcome. Okay, Mr. Barcon. I heard your guy. This guy giving the long laundry and this and that. I don't know what he tries to do to make me interfere, whatever. Is we're talking about national issue. We're talking about leaders, people to lead the vision, the directions of the country. But he always in the tendency to find all of the excuses. You see, since they are not shutting up, you are going to still be going everything, but because he doesn't want people to feedback. It's not about wanting people to feedback. All right. He ready to celebrate that. That market breach. I remember our inside when I entered, they had one market breach, a similar thing like that. And this sort of thing, lawmakers with all the crazy money these people taking, I don't know when would this thing come to an end. But I think it is time for us to have a conversation. And you guys are the best people to lead this conversation, to be honest, to be genuine, and start thinking on this network, pretending and protecting to your own. You guys need to join us to come on our side to stand up and speak for the Liberian people. Okay? But you listen to what your man Libra said. And I know you are about to disabuse him here this evening. Let me hear from you.
You're muted.
I'm talking to us, Jared Barkham. Are you not trying to Rick Perry on the debate stage?
Mr. Barkham, I think he frozen.
Yeah.
I think on the Lone Star Network.
Fluctuating tonight, but anyway.
Taiwan, we put on the Lone Star Network. So.
No, I'm right here. You can hear me.
Well, let's hear you. Let's visualize Nigeria.
Look, Taiwan, my district representative, so please, my district representative.
Oh,
all right.
You're not going to get anything out of me.
You put a lot of.
You see.
Mr. Barkham, you gotta go
give me a talking point that you want me to talk about. I know you just made some statement here. So tell me which point you want me to address. Tell me the issue that you want me to address. No, I just asking you because you just talk.
Yeah, I'm coming now. Your host, your so-called host.
Tell me which one you want me to talk about. Breaking the law or the speaker place, or just give me these are the issue I want you to address. That I want to address that.
That's what I'm saying. I say your so-called host was praising and cheering Tar one-way market breach until Cece Egu. It wasn't
all right.
me.
Let me do that. Let me see. Okay, let me use it. Let me use the other one to see it if it works. All right. Let me see. Let me try this. Quiet. You'll be talking. Quiet. Let me see if I can get it outside.
You're who closer to power and your internet and behaving like that. We who far from here. Oh my God. Let's just say the man calling how to call Patrick want to eye data up.
I said I'm a representative from District 9, so I'm from District 9.
Wow. The Lord done it for me. The Lord done it for me. You know, God don't like ugly. He ready to toss some tabata what he left for. Okay, Mr. Goya, let me just bring you in. Look, they are
fluctuating. Let me see if I can do this.
Seriously, this sort of behavior of our lawmakers, I don't know, is it a society or is their action deliberate, or when will we as a people, as a nation, the civil society, these advocacy group, when would they kind of like stand up for the people? What really going on?
I think this whole syndrome of at least, it's the thing that's bothering us, Mr. So, and I know for me, this is not a ruling party versus opposition thing, because Tai Wongwe is not even a ruling party person. I think he was trying to build a place for the rule of law caucus to be having their meeting since they kicked them out of the building that the other place. But look, on a serious note, if we are going to continue to complain, and the likes of Tai Wongwe that is supposed to know better. This is a very brilliant young man. Well schooled, traveled, a business person, to go into government as the shining star, to say he's showing something different, just to go become an expert in mediocrity. I think it's so disheartening, because okay, I understand my papa Tano Poli will say I would dig a boo hole, like campaign speech, instead of building taller, you dig boo hole. I can understand that. I can, we can say, okay, we excuse that. But for a tire one way to go build that thing, where it costs so much more for the billboard than the entire construction in the entire place. And my question is, what was the reason for those 4 car tires that he painted white and put in that place? What is Bobby doing in the ground? Right? And to come out and try to publicize it, that this is going to be a dedication. Look, man, I like Ty. I respect him, but we have to be able to call our own people that we respect and we trust when they go crazy. And I think Ty went really crazy on this. This is not necessary. I understand when you're trying to grant reprieve to your people that you think are struggling, but that thing, that's the rest stop. So when you order now, people, Johnny, what you do? There are 2 things involved. My begin say, "Other people in the hall, or you run in the bush." And when you run in the bush, you don't get to the bush before you put on his head. So there are 2 things involved. Right? That one ought to know better than that.
This guy was almost, not to cut you were almost more or less some sort of vice presidential hopeful. I mean, was that?
People were looking up to him.
Yeah, looking up to him.
Because these are, again, this is where when the Liberian people come out and say, we don't want educated people and let us down. These are the examples they point to. I'm not saying that is a good argument, but I'm just saying we keep giving these people too many ammunition against ourselves. If the like of Ty Wangbe can do that, right? Look at the thing the man constructed over there. And he came out trying to explain to the damage control. I got 250 cement and 50 here and there. I don't care if you can build a skyscraper at this point in time. One way the first step was bad, the intent was bad, the effect is bad, it's horrible. And I hope my man Jeremiah the jumper can go join what I think so he can disappear. But join a 4 times. Yeah, you join what Prince Johnson body. And what's that child support payment do? For everything gonna join way.
Okay, let's see. Mr. Bacon is back. Hopefully,
you can tell me go for too long. The plow too plenty inside me.
Mr. Bacon, are you okay now?
I'm all right.
Everybody's stepping you to never fire.
I got a bottle of water here, so I'm all right.
The IO data on now, eh?
Well,
I say Patrick on that IO data now. Go ahead.
no, but you see, Mr. So thank you. You see, I like you. No matter what you say to me, you're not going to make me. I learned something here. Even if I leave from here to go work somewhere else, I have learned something. That when you are talking, when somebody tries to interrupt you, they try to make you to lose your thought. And I have learned it on the show. And you are good at it. And I have learned it. So when you're talking, when I go somewhere, somebody try to disrupt me, I will carry with me. So thank you so much. You make me to be strong. You make me to be fast thinker. So thank you. I appreciate it. But here's the thing. You come on the show and start talking about boycott administration, going to the speaker place and go break the lock. Listen, this is an institution by itself. That's not the executive marshal. That is a House of Representatives. You don't have supervision over the speaker. The speaker presides over the House of Representatives. In fact, let me say it. It's a combat service. Before bill passing the House, it go through the speaker. The speaker have to bring the bill on the bill. But yeah, what I want to say to you, our listener tonight, there's an issue that we are not even thinking about. And I've been thinking about it. Maybe we can discuss it or throw it out there. There's a constitution crisis that's going to happen. It's going to go back to the Supreme Court. Here is the executive and the legislature or legislator who asked the executive to commit a crime. I want you to follow me very well. The speaker asked executive to go and break into a certain legislature car. And the police is fall under the executive. And here we are. And now the speaker is requesting or has summoned their colleagues, Mr. Yeke Koluba, for hearing, for disciplinary hearing. How it's going to fall out, how it's going to play it out, is something for us to start thinking about it. We need to get a legal scholar who's going to explain some of these things. And we say from the beginning when they, how you call it, majority black and minority black, and we say here, and have gone to the Supreme Court, and it's still going on. And this is an issue. So when you're talking about somebody going to break into the speaker place, it is in the purview of the speaker or the sitting speaker or the outgoing speaker. That's their prerogative. It's not had nothing to do with the executive. It's in the legislature branch. It's got nothing to do with the executive. My belief. But here, what I am saying, they want to have a broad day. Yeah, it's a sitting speaker asking the executive to go commit crime. So what happens if they fire that police officer because he break into the representative car and he be prosecuted? Folks, as is a discussion. So your question you're asking of Mr. Excellency, what guy is not in control? What guy is in control? You know what happened? So you know what Baka is doing. He might not move faster the way you think he should move. But you're a man of discipline, he's a man of responsible individual. He will not move the way you thinking, the way you want it to be done. But he is on course. Thank you.
So since you brought that, and I know because I listened to Colette, the man who took, well, I don't know how they call those long.
The drill, the drill.
Yeah, I mean Colette now with the speaker office, he's calling people now. I know you guys saw that sort of a committee today that they asking to someone, and then he asked the sergeant of arm, go low also, he came, oh, the men are here, blah, blah, blah. Now, I believe it is in that direction, but let me just bring in liberal. The distraction is just too much. I don't know what is the way out now, what should be done. But every other day, these people that are being paid huge money, every other time now is some sort of drama and conversations, complete distractions. I'm not sure whether they are even working to earn what they are getting, whether they are actually working for it. That seems not to be the case. Every day now, yo, like something. Liberal, what is the way out of this whole thing here? What is the way out? Where is the political tolerance, both sides? It's like everybody in a face to say, oh, I should be the winner. I am the winner. Everybody's standing their ground. Is there any possible way out? Can anybody intercede to get this thing over?
Thank you. Mr. So, what is happening right now with the Falanti Kofa and the speakership saga? For me, it's like America electing Donald Trump the first time. Before Donald Trump was elected the first time, America politics were somehow hidden from many people in terms of what their behavior was, what the behavior of many Americans were against certain people or certain things. And things that they will not be able to say, those were things Trump would say publicly. Trump would make fun of Hennekia people. Trump even stated that if you were to stand in public and shoot, I think it's Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, nothing. And this is when the American, and with all that, they turn around again and re-elected Trump. For me, what is happening with Flanti Kufa and everything else is a teachable moment. It is showing the Liberian people, educated or not, some of the faulty foundation we have for our democracy. Some of the things that we're proud of, they are just lies. They don't exist. We count ourselves on the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. But the way things are going, what makes you think that the Constitution will not be challenged? This is the problem that we're facing. Because first of all, the question I keep asking for a whole week, who are we? Why are we not able to resolve these things in a manner of being responsible? In that we are going to resolve into Yakaluba and Yogo Mueka, you're bringing those type of stuff. And just to show you that the whole leadership in the Republic of Liberia, it doesn't hold well. People go and take money that don't belong to them. Nothing happens. People during the former president, we have administration, you heard all kinds of people being dead, killing. Nothing happened. Until Liberians can define themselves and say we are ready to move with the next step, to move to the place where we can be able to develop ourselves well. We will continue to do that. The money in the country, we have all the mineral resources, but we allow the foreigners to come in and clear. Because we don't even have respect for one another. We don't even have respect for our own towns and villages. Because if you do have respect for that, you will pour the money in there so that the town and villages will be developed. We don't do that. And as a result, Mr. So, because we lack the integrity, all of us. And so we have this kinds of stuff. Why do we have to get to this point? Why should we be at this position when we have a constitution that says if you want to remove somebody, this is the way to go at it? But they decided to go back to previous behavior. And because the previous behavior happened when the former president decided to support that previous behavior. So that now supersedes the Constitution that we all believe in. So are you telling me now that if somebody's right was violated years ago, so this is how we're going to behave now to continue to, so the next time the people come in, say, well, the Rachel Cohen people, they ain't going to follow now. We just don't want to sit on it, then we want to change. Is that how we're going to do the speakership? So, Mr. So, this is what we have. And the like of Rachel Cohen, who for me, I don't believe he will stay 1 year anyway.
Yeah.
But this is what we have. And I feel bad for us, all of us, because some of us are anxious to go home. Look, if you listen to the news that come from Liberia on a daily basis, it's not encouraging at all. But for me, Mr. So, these kinds of things keep us alive, and I want to thank God for that. Not because we're suffering, but we stay and we're anxious to come on. I can't wait till Sunday to come and face you again. I can't wait for money for me to come and run my mouth and stuff like that and talk about that. So that's it. But as far as seriously resolving these issues, if you read other newspapers about Liberia, you would think that nothing bad is happening.
Okay, I want to go to Terry because you kept stepping by. You just don't want to hear the answer. You just don't want to provide the answer that we need. The Liberian people wants to hear. You're still salad dressing. You're still acting deliberate, being very calculative. You don't want to So who should lead this? Who should lead this cause? Somebody should take the lead. Who is the president?
Like the Iranians. Like the Iranians. Yes. We have to let these people know enough is enough. The lawmakers, the executive, the legislation, the judiciary. Those people that are in charge of the government.
What specifically you want the Liberian people to do?
What do you mean? Election time, find people that you will put in this position that will be able to help you move the country forward. Don't just put anybody in position because the person gave you 5 cents, 2 cents. You leave that Terry was saying yesterday. Some guy said, he left he said, I like Yaga Koluba. That's why I left my district to go vote for Yaga Koluba in the district the person don't live. How are you going to survive like that? The district you live in, so other people trucking in there to come and bring you new representative. And then when they leave, they got nothing to do with your district. You leave in your district to go and vote for another person in another district because you like that person. Is that how we're going to live?
You are not answering my question. Let me turn to Terry. Your action is deliberate, is calculative, so you're not answering my question. Terry, if you can't answer to, then we'll come to Sissy. We keep putting spin on this whole thing here. All of this, it comes to price in terms of sacrifice and every other thing involved. But somebody must lead this cause. Somebody must be like the big guy, big boy in the room to say, hey, enough is enough. We need to bring this thing to a halt. We need to sit at a table. We need to have a conference. Something must be done. The distractions on Capitol Hill it's every day. Every day, every other day. If they were to even go to some sections on Sunday, trust me, they will push the Bible aside and they will do what they're doing. You have Colette now is leading, possibly they want to suspend, what his name? Koluba, because one other representative said the way Koluba doing, yeah, we all know Yeke talks the way he talks and all of that. But you had a guy here who led the group to break into the speaker's office, and now he rule and whatever administration now. So how can we solve it? Is that how we just going to be for the rest? Because this is not just going to stop. You have one group of people going there having their own section, whoever they are, whatever the way they say they can go. You have speakers on the other side sit in his position, say he is the guy, and he's going to do what he's doing, and everything going. I'm not sure what he's doing us good as a people and as a country.
Mr. So, like I said the last time, and people say this, that, and the other, I blame all the problem of what going on in the house on for Nati Kofa. That's why I declare him not to be speaker. Simple as that. Under your leadership, and you guys blame the president. I don't know how you can blame the president for the responsibility done in another branch of government, wherein the speaker was presiding, how he got from where he was to what we always claim that we blame the leadership to take responsibility for errors. Then why you want to bring the president in the executive for what going on in the legislature when it is a different branch of government? So everything, that's why I say I don't recognize him as speaker, because if he was a leader, he would have brought this thing under control. He failed to bring it under control. Now the president have got involved. Every time the president tried to make an attempt to get involved, they say, oh, that the president doing it. So the president now is not the one to solve the problem. But let me tell you how the problem can be solved. Every district come to town and have a sit-in. Every district come to town and have a sit-in, commanding these people to go to work. Every district come to town, lock down the city, and sit in. Because the minority blacks say they're not going to listen to the president because that the president undermining the horse. So how the president will solve the problem? He can't. He has tried many times and failed because everybody got to preconceived notion that the president is the one fueling this thing. So how can he solve it? He can't. So now, how will it be solved? Because most of those guys that have deflected, they are opposition. The only way to solve this problem for the constituencies to mobilize a protest and sit in, demanding that the lawmakers that they send there to represent them, demanding that they go to work. And if they don't go to work, then nobody should have anything going on in the government. When that happens for 1 week, those buggers will straighten up. But the reason it's not going to happen is because the Liberian people are not ready yet. They're not versed yet. But let it continue. They're building up the anger in the people. When the people get ready, they will sit in. And that's what we're waiting for. So let it continue.
You will go. You will go to sit into?
Oh, if possibility, I will go to sit in.
Okay.
They are our lawmaker. We brought them there. Somebody go tell you, say, don't park here. This is the majority black speaker, quote unquote. You go, you take your car, you say you rule a law, Coco. You take your car, you park there. You park there, the people drain your car, then you vest. You say, why the man? The next day you came and park there again. Then I want to know, what is your district benefiting from you? What your district? The reason why you were elected as representative for that district, what are they benefiting from you? Just to be shouting whole day in the country? Then that was somebody said on the network that there are things that are not newsworthy that become newsworthy in Liberia. You see journalists then going to Yeke Koluba to hear him talking. What he talking that making sense? I don't understand that every day he on the news, 50,000 viewers. For what thing? What this man doing in the district for which the people they elected him? What he doing there? So my thing is, I'm advocating that the people of Liberia revolt and have a sit-in and demand that the lawmaker go to work. But I think that the only way the problem was solved.
That one a big one.
Because if the president,
the
president get involved right now, if the president get involved, nobody will listen to him. The people say that the president caused the problem in the house. So how he will solve it? He can't solve it.
What you say?
People can solve it.
What do you say? Did the president have any support?
It's a separate branch of government, Mr. So in politics, maneuvering can take place. It's part of politics.
Exactly. Okay, Mose, good evening. Welcome as well.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you all doing?
Okay, so Mr. Goya, I don't know, assuming that which of course it's not going to be, it's not possible. Say, hey, you up here, guy, man, every day or every night you're talking and this and that, but let somebody, you bring a solution, you found solution to this ongoing saga at the first branch, in the first branch of government. What could possibly be the starting point?
The starting point is there is no saga in the first branch of government. Fonati Kofa is not speaker. Fonati Kofa, in his letter, in his response to a letter on January 31st about vacating the office of the speaker, he signed it as Fonati Kofa, Counselor at Law. He himself recognized when I speak on your own letter that you wrote to your colleagues. Let's be frank, man. Look, the other day, you know, I was looking at before he said, remember the Alamo, he wrote something about the famous poem out of Germany. Nazi Germany. First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak up because I was not a communist. And they came for the socialists. And I said, well, first they came for the associate justice of the Supreme Court, and you did not speak up. You actively participated because you were not the associate justice of the Supreme Court. Look, you asked me where this thing ends, and I say where it ends is people are getting paid under a budget that was passed under the gavel of Richard Kuhn that don't go to work should be removed from their offices and their offices declared vacant and elections take place. If Kofa, having signed a letter to his colleagues, signed it as Anthony at Law, not speaker, that status our issue.
Yeah.
If the man is getting paid not a speaker's salary, he's getting paid a representative salary and he's accepting it, eating it. That means he has accepted The authority that passed their budget, which is on a Rachel Coon's gavel. And if you can't go to work, remove them. Look, man, there comes a time where drastic measures have to be taken. And I hear people talking about, oh, in America, and when you leave a car, they'll come and talk, yeah, and true, in America, we tow cars. But let's be fair with each other. In Liberia, when you violate traffic laws, police get anything to tow your car, anything you get your car key from you and carry it. Where we get tow truck to tow anything, you can go back car, go buy tow truck for them because he represented it. We have to put things where things belong. If you are the rule of law caucus, people keep saying that the executive is proceeding, is violating the law. And it really baffles me. Because in this country, Donald Trump just signed executive orders about transgender rights.
Yes.
There was a ruling by the Supreme Court that was interpreted differently by the Joe Biden Justice Department. Trump said that his Justice Department understanding guidance of that is different. In Minnesota, Keith Edison, the Attorney General, just gave a guidance to our sports high school sports commission about the issue of allowing people who are transgender from participating in sports. That if they follow the guidance of the executive order of Trump, they'll be violating Minnesota laws. In every country, every democracy, rational democracy, the person who is charged with carrying out the justice of the country has to understand the ruling of the Supreme Court, has to interpret that for guidance for the executive. And if anybody else disagrees, you go by the court. So as far as the executive is concerned, there is a guidance coming from the Minister of Justice who was empowered by a 1972 law in Liberia to give guidance on rulings from the Supreme Court. That guidance has been given. Fonati Kofa, as Chancellor of Law, understand that. That was the reason he went back to the Supreme Court to seek a bill of whatever interpretation or information. The Supreme Court took him packing the backpack and still getting paid.
Yeah.
So let's get past that thing. Fonati Kofa is now speaker. He sat down there. The Constitution was abrogated. It was disrespected. It was broken. But he was not a communist at the time, so he didn't stand up. So cry me a river. Fonati Kofa is now speaker, and he takes the pay of a representative and doesn't go to work. His office should be declared vacant, and we should have election to replace him.
We should have election to replace him.
So what happens if you have an election to replace them and they win the election? What do you do then?
And he comes back, and then if he doesn't do it again, we declare OP again. But the first thing was that he was told to vacate the office. Read a letter to a friend there. He had not a speaker office for him. He was not elected to be speaker by his constituents. He was elected by his colleagues to lead them. When they tell you give the office, don't say y'all go break into the office. Yeah, no, they broke into the office. That ain't a horse, I ain't a warehouse. He cannot hold the speaker's office hostage. Doesn't belong to him.
All right. Mo, before I come to you, let me go to the phone line here. Is that Keto? Okay, let's hear you. We should declare those seats vacant and have election.
Sitting in my seat while I'm driving, shaking, and I can't believe that I'm listening to educated people discuss the way we're discussing today. I don't even think so. Are we saying that our Constitution is beneath us? Are we saying because we have certain sentiment for a certain group of people, our Constitution should be violated? Is that what we're saying today? Are we saying to Liberian people, if this thing were all the other way around, right? Will we accept it? Am I hearing Cecile say on this platform that it was wrong to remove Kabina Janet? So it's right to remove Speaker Kofa? Is that what he's saying? Is this his justification? Sad for our country. It's very sad for our country to see Liberians. We are our own problem. We are the cause that we destroy our own nation. We are from moving forward. I will never put my burden on other people. We, and I say all the time, we that in the diaspora, We, the so-called educated people, are the ones that destroy our nation. Because you know what? If we don't take side with people, you understand, and blindly support them, then we do nothing for nothing.
Okay. Sorry.
What yesterday? What
When
makes
you bring him on the show, instead of him using doing like hit and run, let him come on the show.
to remove a speaker, even though a college voted for him, the college cannot remove him because he's protected under the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria. All right, he's not protected under the vote that his party putting in there for. No.
Okay.
The Constitution protects him.
All right.
He should be protected.
Hang on there.
Don't come here and spread all the gossip about because he didn't go against the removal of Cabinet Janet. So it's right for what they're doing to him today. Let me tell you something, brother.
Tell us second.
And and that country is for all of us. Today, local content is dominating in the government. A couple of years ago, you guys were sitting on the platform saying, George, we have brought all the people from the southeastern region. Today, local content is dominating the government and nobody can speak. Even for you guys, the local content cannot say anything. And you're sitting on this platform and want to propagate our gibberish and say your
okay.
politics.
All right. All right. Let me hold you there. Let me bring in most have not spoken.
I can't afford that inside the memo.
Let me bring in Mose, and Clarence is on the phone as well. Mose, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, brother. Thank you for the show.
Yeah, you said security analysts, they don't have a side, they're not politically grounded, they don't have a political party. So what of a strategy here to find solution to this mess?
Well, let me say
the recommendation.
Let me say this. I first want to advise Kenner to emotion out of the statement that he's making. And when he said he's shivering in his car, listen, Kenner, election is over. We're not campaigning. Wait for campaign time to start doing your campaigning and say who needs to be in the Oval Office in Liberia. It's over. And the bitterness that he exhibits on the show all the time states that he's still mad about the election results. And I'm saying it from a fact. I cannot agree with Sister Moore. If Fanati Kofa has already corresponded with his colleagues as counselor, that means he's no longer there. Number one is that, listen, in the absence of law and order, it's anarchy. In the absence of law and order, it's anarchy. And that's what we find ourselves in. You don't have to be shooting people and doing all this stuff. There are a lot of things that have been going on since the last administration.
Somebody, please mute your, sorry, Mose. Please mute your line. We're getting some feedback. Go ahead.
There are a lot of things that have been going on in our country that questions the law and order in our country before Barker came into office. And really, if those people are not going to work, I am here to say that yes, if you don't work for the people, you don't get paid by the people money. The people taxpayer. And that's the bottom line. You can't be collecting checks for exercising the responsibility that you're not. In any country, third world, whatever developed country, you don't show up to work, you don't get paid. You don't get paid. And what happened is that this thing keeps going because, again, Collins talked about it later on. The media is the one fueling this thing. They go in the street and listen to people talk a bunch of rhetorics against the government. I was hoping we can be talking about some positive things. Like today. What happened today at the executive mansion? We have medical expertise going to the country to talk about emergency response. We have never thought about something like that ever in our country. And they're going to spend serious money on emergency to kind of, promote there's preventive care. That's a positive thing for us. And they're going to be working with all the hospitals. Those are things we need to talk about to encourage our people and let them know at least something is happening. They're giving news and commentary to these things that are happening every day, these nonsense. Because we know most of the things that are happening, you got people that are Karas Grader on the show talking now and going on the street and defying, and Eugene Nabe and these guys, they need to understand. And I'm talking to them as individuals, not as citizens. They need to stop gaslighting. They need to stop boosting their group.
Are you saying they are going in the street should be limited? Is that your argument?
No, I'm not saying that. What happened is that not only are they doing that, but look at the trips that we as citizens, we are took out of the country. They make sure that they had a news reporter with him and masquerading all over the place. These are things that are exacerbating the situation in Liberia more. And the media, as soon as they see these people, they run to them. Whether they got something of substance for the country or not, they go to them. And you got people, Zekwe, and all that stuff. These are we need to pay attention to some positive things, not always the negative. Because that country, it's not just negative coming out of this country. Absence of law and order, I'll say that again, is total anarchy. There are quite a bit of good things going on. And we, as the people who come into this show, we need to start talking about the positive things that are happening, like what happened today with the medical supplies and the medical practitioners that visited Liberia with a commitment to go and do something for our people. Thank you.
Okay, let me break in. Clarence, I'll go. Clarence, go ahead quickly before I go to Mr. Bacon. We already in. Clarence, are you there?
Yeah, Mr. So I'm here. How you doing?
Good, good. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good here. I guess following the show. In like that, they had a saying we got nothing to live for, we got nothing to die for. When you come down there from CDC, when they come on this show, they should keep quiet. Because
the what?
The Tamlan. I'm a liberal, you know the meaning of Tamlan. When CDC look at the Southeast, and we kept trying to compare with the local government to try to say that the Southeast, in the part they were talking about it. So you have president from Southeast, which are talking about from the 7 years. Joe got there for 10 years, and Joe has 6 years, which is for the 3 years. And they were not able to even clear the road to go to Southeast, getting for the people outside the road. The Gabon election, they were using Africa to get to their own countries. And the present leadership now is trying to create an avenue that even the poor people that are down there together tomorrow, so they can get outside the road, they can be able to bring their goods in the market, and they come here talking about the local now, the government. You had a president from one group. You had a deputy speaker from one group. You had a president from Sano. You had a speaker from Maryland. You had the foreign minister from Maryland. All the 10 people from outside. What they did for their people? Nothing. But they were not really the reason what I'm called tonight for. Tina Drew Plantation is here. If Liberia will continue, the country that will continue to ask the national community for money, it will continue to pay our government officials that kind of money. I don't think it's fair for the people. I listened to the bank governor today. I'm not today, yesterday, the bank governor. And the judge, the bank governor, when they appear to us Senate, the bank governor made $56,000. And other $56,000, and the bank governor, besides $56,000, and the bank governor said that they gave me $50,000 for housing allowance. If the country we really want for the country to succeed, don't look for sincere people getting in Abia to serve our country, because you come in that kind of position, you should be able to be somebody that established. You can have your own work that you never in, government be getting you $50,000 for housing. And the government bring government for the $7,000 for housing. How are we treating our own country like this? Then at the end of the day today, we come back to the international community to come beg them for money. And the money we're begging for, and not reaching to the poor people. They're only going to the official market.
I know.
If we want to let go, we got to really put our feet down for the country to be okay. We need a leader that be able to cut all the military down and be able to work according to what the country can generate. Thank you, Mr. So.
Thank you so much. This is an honest conversation. Mr. Bacon,
Yeah.
before we do our last penny, it's almost time here. But let's hear you. There are a lot of great suggestions, diverse views, and that's what the country is all about. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my brother says from Minnesota, he said something that, I mean, we in the 21st century, things have changed. Police people take people car, but now we have tow truck in Liberia, and it's a responsibility. The police officer is there to protect life and property. Even if the speaker have given him the order and say remove it, he have the obligation as a police officer to use discretional power. Even the judges will go to court. The judge had a discretional power to say, you're supposed to be sitting here for 10 years, but maybe your first offense and say, you know what, because of your first offense, you'll be on probation or low contender, but this is what we need to do in our country. We need to start having the 21st century policing. That's what it is. We have to do these things, especially within our community. Our police officers need to be well disciplined. I said it, I think 2 days ago on the show. The morality that Mr. Clark, you crazy to see Mr. Clark on the street to go see him? So we have, people who was there when they speak, people listening to them. But today, our police department is like a joke. You, as a police officer, somebody going to instruct you and say, go break into the excuse me, in the representative car, and Wilfred Clark going to hear it that you break into somebody's car, or Fanny Denstock going to hear it. Man, come on, folks. These are things we need to bring some integrity to our police department. And some of us will serve in that area.
So, Mr. Bacon, if in your case and such an instruction was given to you, how differently you have handled it?
As a police officer on the scene, or as a director?
As a police officer on the scene, and then you have such instructions or ultimatums or some order given to you, officer, you need to get this thing done right now.
I said, yes, sir. I will take care of it. I will call, my supervisor. I will get my supervisor for his opinion. That's why we have radio. That's why you have sergeant. You have sergeant. You got commanders. You got supervisor. That's what I will do first. I said, okay, chief, I will take care of it. Relax, I will take care of it. And that's why you have the discretion of power. It was not an emergency. Emergency supersede anything in policing. It was not an emergency. If there's an emergency and say there's a boy in the place, there's a clock kicking, then we say, yeah, we're going to use the veto power. That's why you got a patient of job. There are 3 principles. There are 3 principles. The patient of job, the wisdom of Solomon, that's the last strength you use. Then you got a wisdom of Samson. Samson is the last strength. So as a police officer, you had a discretion of power.
So do you think so? From what you're saying here, quickly, and then we can spin before we go here. Such order or coming from the speaker and failure on the part of the officer to execute, to carry out that, how would that be termed?
Look, listen. It's not a subordination. It's not a subordination if you want to go that route and say that's a subordination to the speaker.
That's not what I said. I'm just wondering why what possibly could
that would not be a subordination.
To respond also, please, after Jerry.
It's not a subordination. It's not a subordination. Yes, sir. And it's just a yes, sir. I will be taking care of the chief. I will take care of it. That's your responsibility as a police officer. That's your responsibility to maintain that environment, clear the area. It's not an emergency. It's not an emergency. It's
not a life-threatening situation, right?
No, it's not an emergency in that situation. He parked to the place. It's a violation. Tow the car from there, or tell people say we'll go push it wherever it means you can get it out of there. But it's not to go drill. Okay. That's a crime to do such.
All right.
He's supposed to know better.
Okay. Most hold on. The Liberal is doing a research there. Yeah, you're gonna respond, Moses.
2 minutes.
The liberal. I'm coming to you. Don't worry. The
Okay.
liberal been doing some research, and I'm getting some information here that he has found a solution. The liberal, what are you gathering from your? We're not hearing you, Papi.
Yeah, the Papi is muted. That's the chairman of the board.
Mr. So, and that's the beauty of LPR. We come out here and we agree to disagree.
Correct.
I don't agree with Sissy Tabata. I don't agree with it completely.
Wow.
I don't agree with Terry and Jerry Boxon and
my goodness.
Mose Backham and all that stuff. I don't agree with them.
Man, what an end! What an end of the
firing squad. The member firing squad.
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
Jerry Boxham, that you're not getting that link again.
We're going to the garage.
They decided tonight. They decided tonight to talk Tabata, and these are highly educated people on the platform, and all four.
You know what advocating for Sissy to come. So you the same person.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a pure mistake.
Always Sissy to come to there.
I changed my mind. For you to sit down here and say, Flantikova.
Pop, don't mind people here. You know, you must go way back. Don't mind people. But I'm posting your carry.
But anyway, Mr. So, today Friday, my good. Oh, I mean, sure. Today Friday, I got to go, Mr. So. Mr. So, good night. It's a beautiful show. I forgot that I'm on LPR. Good night.
So this is a complete abuse to animal every Saturday.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Good night, Mr. So. Good night. Thank you, audience. Let's have a next show Sunday. Good night.
The man dropped before he took off.
You see how you got caught on camera?
The man dropped before he took off. That's good.
He said he forgot. Look at you run away.
He gone.
This is a disgrace. The liberal. Wow. All right, guy. But
anyways,
Terry, let's talk this.
You going to Terry?
Oh, Mose. Okay, yeah, Mose. I know you wanted to speak to that. Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to speak to what Jerry said. One of the things when you go for oral interview as a police officer, one of the scenarios that you're given, and what Jerry is speaking to is the fact of continuous training. We can't say that enough on the show. And that we need to come up to the 21st century of policing, because this is an international institution. Every police officer in any part of the country, in any part of the world, can go anywhere and function. And that's why it's an institution. And when you go there, the Blue Brothers, they respect you for being a police officer, because the training is not different. It's not different because you're protecting life and properties. Now, if the speaker had given me the order to say, go break in that car, I don't work for the speaker. I work for the Liberian National Police. I'm there to protect lives and property. You don't destroy property. And one of the scenarios that they actually are
supposed... Is that why you're going to tell the speaker?
Yes. You don't work for him. You may be assigned to him, but you're assigned to him to address the issue of safety and damage to property. You're not assigned to him to take order from the speaker. And I can tell you, one of the examples is that's why I'm telling you the scenario. As a Capitol Police or as a police officer, they ask you, if you're assigned to a judge as an escort, and the judge tells you to go, he forgot to pick up his clothes from the doctor. And he said, can you go pick it up for me? And they actually say, what would you do? And many of times people fear that scenario because they'll always say, oh, I'll go pick it up because I assigned to the judge. Bam, that's a no-no. You assign to that place, you're given a specific duty to protect and serve. If you leave that judge and something happens to the judge, you are responsible. That's why you don't go when they tell you to. You're there to protect lives and property, and you get a command by somebody you don't work for. You work.
So, but let me ask this question: what is the orientation to on the part of these officials who kind of come out and say things and put the unarmed people in some sort of a volatile situation?
Well, I can tell you this: this is not the first time it happened. I've heard, and seen where, in fact, people at Jefferson County used to instruct officers to arrest people. That was not his. No way that happens. You just can't tell because you hear authorities say arrest that man and lock him up. Okay. No police officer. That's what you're trained, like Jerry said, to use the discretion. You need to calm down. You need to de-escalate whatever is going on. And I'm just telling you, that's what policing is, my brother.
Right.
That's what policing is. That's what you're trained. That's what I keep saying. The police are non-political because their assignments is to the individual to protect and serve.
Okay.
To create an environment. You have to de-escalate whatever tension is going on. You don't take order from somebody other than your commander or your sergeant, just as I said. If they tell you anything, you run it by your sergeant, you're not going to do it.
You're not going to
don't do it. You don't do it. You don't do it. The speaker is not your boss. You're on a special, that's why you swear under oath to protect and serve.
Okay, and this is a kind of little convoluted one here. Okay, before.
No, it's not convoluted because if you ask any other police
officer,
other person in security, they would tell you that's what it is. You don't leave your post. You don't do things contrary to what the institution allows you.
So, what is the consequences of those leaders who also doing that when they know they should not be even giving that order to as well? So,
that goes for them. If you don't exercise the order, he cannot do anything to you. If you exercise the order, you're in trouble because you are not supposed to. The speaker could not have done anything to that police officer if the officer had refused to break in. They had refused to break in the car.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah, let's hear you, sister, then Terry, before we do our closing.
Yeah, I like the education that's coming from both of these well-practiced men. But we're asking for 21st century policing without 21st century support.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I don't like when we do that. It's like people have talked to me about doing STEM education in Liberia, and I've always told them, get from my face. How are you doing STEM education in Zlowo when I need internet and people got to buy data? When is the computer going to be running? Where's the technology part of that? We do this thing as Liberians. We did it with our flag. We did it with our constitution. We did it with our way of governance. We borrow people's things. We put it in our society. We don't look at what we have available. There is no tow truck in Liberia with the police for the police department. So the people go for a car and put a car on their head and tow it. Can I be frank?
That's not what we're saying, Sis.
No, hold on. And for Mr. Balcon to, usually I don't like when people talk about the 80s and the 70s, I like to leave it alone. But when we over-romanticize this about the lack of welfare clock, I lived in a community where there were people that used to be beaten by police people for nothing. It been happening over and over. There are police people that smile and say, go arrest that man today. They get us something. It been happening since 1847. It didn't just happen today. It happened with welfare clock time. It happened all of the other times. The police have always been run by people who are in power. It's not just the speaker. I know when I'm in Liberia drinking my liquor, I can call in a police or somebody at first can say, put a person in jail, put it in jail. It's not just the speaker.
And that's wrong.
Well, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that it didn't just start today. It happened with Wilfred Clark time. So my brother Barcom and I pretend that Wilfred Clark was this super cop that nothing else.
No.
It was happening under his time.
Let me bring. Okay.
So to end this conversation,
Yeah.
there are 21st century requirements. We cannot be expecting 21st century operations if we don't have 21st century support.
That's what we are, the place we are. Says it.
Okay. Terry, make your point, then we can go through the room to make our final statement for the evening. Terry,
For me, I believe the analysts then for the security department, that's the area, and they're giving us analysis. But I hope I can add to this in a different way, because I want to partly agree with my senior brother Sissy too, because I'm looking at something here that they call buggery. I didn't hear any one of them talking about the crime itself, that whether if it is a crime and what kind of crime it is. Because I'm looking at buggery here as to breaking into a vehicle with an intent of stealing something. With an intent of stealing. So I don't know whether if being in the speaker's spot, because that location is supposed to be secure specifically for an individual. So if he parked there, I don't know if that is infringing. And then if the speaker drove into a car, I don't know what kind of crime will you consider it on. What kind of crime is it? I thought that they would further explain to us so we can understand, because I'm confused here as to if you're charging the police officer, what kind of charge, what kind of crime are you going to charge him for?
Vandalism.
All right. So, okay, let me go to Keto on the line. Keto, we're going to do it 1 more minute, and then I come back on the live view, and everybody can wrap up and just full cap on it with respect to whatever Terry's last question or any other final thing you want to say. Keto, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, let's hear your final statement.
So I'll just respond to Terry stuff. So the Speaker of Liberia does not have a specific spot. On the Constitution, there's nowhere at the Capitol building it says this spot is for the Speaker. You know, in America, the people got system. They got handicap, they got number, it's still reserved for this person. If you went to that Capitol building, there's nothing still reserved for the Speaker. It's a courtesy his PA gave him. All right? He was not at work. Somebody parked there. The fact that he ordered somebody to possibly open another person's property, it's called breaking and entry. It's a crime. And I think the security expert will tell you that it's a crime. If Yeka Koluba never had even a dime in a car, Yeka Koluba can say, I had $10 million in a car, they are responsible for anything that get missing in a car that Yeka Koluba claimed was in his car. They shouldn't have entered a car. And I hear people say, oh, we didn't get a tow truck in Liberia. When the tow truck came from and moved the car later on, there was a tow truck that came and moved the car later on. Where did it come from? We cannot continue doing this thing for our own people. It's ridiculous. We gotta say it for what it is. And I heard Mr. Moses saying, almost city mayor ordering security to arrest people. He cannot name one person in a report like Liberia that is something coaching ask security to arrest. Now one, I challenge you on the show. We should erect the checkpoint on the show to educate our people. Why will you come here and say these things? That is the same propaganda they ran with. You can lie your way to power, but you can't lie your way in governance. How will it? What? And on the scene, I heard people saying, "Oh, Javante Coach, you have colors in here, running behind people." We saw fake picture that putting colors in his hand. Was it true? Hey man, our country, we love our country, but the way we're going now, our country will never be better because we all choose sides that we lie about, and when the next person comes, the next person lie about it, and like Liberia is not going anywhere. And we try to fix it. How can we fix it? We're not true to ourselves.
Okay, Keto, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, guys. Quick conversation descending the voice views on critical issue, and I think it's better, especially once it's in a civil context and everybody ask all of the questions. So it's quite interesting. I believe is the police involved? The call they in for questioning, something like that. Back on Mr.
Yes.
Okay, I'm interested to see
that.
I'm interested to see the end games. Okay, so let's wrap it up here. The biggest takeaway here tonight, and if there's any recommendation to national government, specific institutions, you can also go ahead to push the line. Who wants to go first? Okay, the engineer for Tower One Way.
Yeah. After we get our lift bridge in district number 9. Look.
Come on, Representative, please address it.
I know I will leave some more. I know he may give me free thing. I didn't give a plow, he gave me a own free, so I had to deal with him some more before I go by the Koga. But look, it is, I know my brother tried, to hold me in 2-3 times, try to Koga-rise his conversation, which is kept on the John Wayne 3 times. But look, at some point in time, we got to call people when they pretend that they just found their consciences after they were evicted from the sycamore tree and they had to go dig out their consciences from under the sycamore tree. Now all of a sudden we should be listening to them. Cry me a river. Nobody's talking about in the Constitution of the parking spot, but there are ordinances. That's why I said the ordinances exist. Sometimes educate yourself before you kind of run all kind of things you're kept up with baking you. I know you try to tribalize this thing that I look for government fine. I ain't going to take it because I'm probably way below, way somewhere below. But you cannot say here and talk about there's nothing in the Constitution that say the speaker got parking spot. That is never spelled out in the Constitution. It is spelled out in certain ordinances. And there is a spot for a speaker. You try to allude to the point of handicap parking. Everywhere you go into a parking space where it says reserved, that is not a constitutional move. It is a city ordinance. Okay? And at the capital, there are capital police assigned at the capital, and they take the instructions from the leader of the capital. Here's the reason when the capital was breached here in DC, people said it was because of the speaker that did not give the proper command to the capital police. So sometimes it's good for us to learn something and not just run around with fire on that thing and cry about it. But on my recommendation, what I actually wanted to discuss here today was to look at what the bank governor said about remuneration and salaries and benefits. And I don't know how that is calculated. I don't know which rules were used. I don't know whether there's a law about it. But if there's a law, I hope the legislature can look at it. That is way too much money. That there are some savings that can be done from there to support basic things like education, like healthcare, infant mortality can be addressed through some of those things. Basic drugs at JFK or at the big building they may build all the way in Bapoli, the core hospital that ain't put no medicine inside. You build building, you put hospital inside, that you put drugs inside, and medicine in hospital. Yeah, I'm talking to you, and I know whatever hospital I'll be waiting to bush water. Look, we have to be truthful. We have to be fair to the Liberian people. We have to hold this government to book. When people do wrong things, we got to call them out. But when I forget that in our most recent history, there were people passing around and telling people that they have their meaning behind the line after the election between Telia Ure and the CDC. And they said they had their people behind the line and they were going to go get them. Jabasi Koji said that. We must not forget Walter Sisulu, that Christopher Sisulu was almost executed by seditionists. We must not forget that. What you think we just forgot that yesterday? No, let's leave that. In closing, my brother Ty Wangbe, I hear say the bridge you build that they want to go to Kakros to go to Morene Kasara Pass. Let's face that bridge. That's very funny thing for our people in District Number 9. Let's help our people.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Tara, you want to go? I mean, woke up watch. I can see that. So everybody closing now.
No.
Yeah. So I don't know why. Even though I don't like to fight people battle, but Keto just came straight for the senior man, Sissy, and start bringing tribalism inside all the kind of things. But however, I know Sissy can fight her own battle. You there with that. But what I want to say, Mr. So,
can make peace. But the other pastor, he get his bazooka behind him.
But I don't see another pastor. So why are you getting better?
They bringing the Bible on our head. How can you be a man of God? You see, you
Those two people can face the plow. They both know how to face the plow. It's just me and Dr. Mali. Me and Dr. Mali know how to face the plow.
Yeah. Is that a Minnesota solidarity you forming here too as well? That would be part of where we go. That Minnesota solidarity.
If man brought trouble stuff, he probably bringing Minnesota problem inside.
Don't bring a rare cup tea around here. Go ahead.
Everybody want every hour get a Koga Nazi with the people with a Koga.
Oh, anyway, my man number here too, because Jerry and man that two that is same group of
Mr. Nambe can be fighting with liberal. He and liberal always on.
That one Nambe can time that thing to come only at the end when the close.
At the end. But Mr. So, I will not draw back right on this one. I will blame not the president. I will blame Kofa for the burning of the Capitol. It was under Speaker Kofa that the Capitol got burned. I will not blame. It will go down in history that, oh yeah, it was during Joseph Boca government, but it was under Speaker Kofa's leadership that the Capitol building got burned.
He was still speaker?
My children, but you said the man said speaker, then who say you're not speaker now?
No, you said on you speaking, you're speaking for you, you're not speaking for me.
But yeah, that's what I told you. I said, you say the man not speaker. And you say the man. So that honor his leadership, his speaker leadership, you say Richard Kuhn is a controversial speaker, which I agree with you. So if Kofa is still the speaker, then I mean it was under his leadership that the Capitol building got burned. So he should be blamed for the Capitol building saga. I'm not going to blame the president for that. I'm going to put the blame on him. That's a poor leadership. That leadership, he should have handled it. Because those people honor his gavel, those people voted for him. He should have talked to them. He should have convinced them. And he should have made sure that everybody was on course. That's why, as a responsible leader, when your colleagues say they don't want you, the honorable thing to do is to resign, to save the trouble and to preserve the country for the future. And failure to do that, it led to the burning of the Capitol. Then you want me to blame the president? I will say no. Everybody here knows about leadership. A leader must take responsibility for the actions of his colleagues, don't honor his leadership. So, and the president cannot solve this problem. The way forward, I probably want to agree with Sisi, but the reason why I don't want to fully agree with him is because that could also provoke another chaos. Because if these guys decide to start suspending these guys and taking them out of their position and not paying them for the money, they could create more uprising in the country that could lead to chaos. So the best people that can solve this problem, the constituents, wake up and go and sit to the Capitol and demand these fully people to go to work.
You're making President scared of man Benny. Let them both bring chaos. We've already been through that before.
Yeah. And if it costs for me to fly to Liberia to join the protest, I will fly to join the protest. If that 1 week will be there, 2 weeks, we would demand that those people who say they're not going to work, they go back to work and represent the district. That's the reason why the people
those days when the children got struck, Abraham looked up to God and he the spirit. But you have
Moses free the people from captivity.
Yeah, and we have these Moses without congregation now and then. They're willing to take their bazooka to go. Anyway, that's okay. Mr. Barker, let's hear you.
You see, what happened in our country? Let's leave. I mean, we'll have opinion. But let's leave the professional people with the professionals that they're supposed to do. Look a while on the show tonight. What happened? I mean, people are writing about burglary raid, entrance, and things like that. No. The charges that will be levied against the individual who break into the car is called property mischief. It's not breaking entering. Breaking entering, you're entering the jewelry home. But that's a property mischief. That means damage the person's property. So let's get it straight. Breaking into, so I mean, I'm not going to do introduction to.
So what if the car is parked into your area, like your place, like the car is parked in your yard and it's not your car, and somebody breaks into it? I mean, and you try to move it, but you break in. How do you call that? Is that also how you call that?
That's a property mischief. Property because damage to person property. Property mischief. It's not breaking entry. Breaking entry only happen when you enter the dwelling home. That's one of the things. Not because you enter the person's car.
What do you mean when you enter do everything? Why everything? Everything like what?
No, I said when you enter the person during whom. I said when you do
okay. I'm sorry.
When you enter the person during whom, breaking entering. That means entering the person property. Unlawfully. Okay, but at this point,
the man say he hear you are to tell one way building. They play the rule law because we don't
I think, but man. Why are you hitting my representative so hard, man? That's my representative.
But we used to for a while. I thought you the one when the designer place.
But anyway, so these are issues that we are facing. When it comes to medical issue, let's leave it with a medical practitioner who will speak on the issue, who are knowledgeable. When it comes to education, I mean, we all have different opinions and everything, but these are, especially when it comes to criminal and law issue in our country. Okay. And my closing would be tonight is we need to stop this thing, especially when it comes to our lawmaker. They are children who are watching, who want to be like you tomorrow, they want to be representative, they want to be senator. And the behavior is not producing positive impact into our community. So we need to stop this thing. People are looking up to us. Now, says earlier tonight, people are looking up to someone that want to sit on the show. Wow, one day I want to be like Jerry, or I want to be like our professor.
You say that be the one, be that me, one be a boy or tabata. Who want?
No, hold on, sir. I mean, I said, look at. I mean, we have people here with listen, sir. Can you please? Why you always do this? You see, these are the things you do. You're the red wing. You're always try to black people when you're ready to talk. The red winger, so that's the whole thing.
I don't think Mr. Bacon started it before you. Mr. Soldier, just push the
hey, man, run now because you can go tomorrow.
Anyway. So, folks, let's leave it with the professional people. Yeah, we're ready to talk on the matter. It's important. We're not just speculate because we come here because we are familiar with the words. It is not helping our people. Thank you.
All right. And I think most suggested something. I'm not sure whether Mr. Bacon will hear with respect to maybe Moses.
Yeah.
Your suggestion the other day was Mr. Bacon here at the time?
Yeah, Mr. Bacon was here.
About what? We should.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
No, I don't think he was here.
I was here. I'm talking about something about new letter or something. I know.
About coming up with doing a show that will focus on recommendations and stuff.
Yeah. That was here 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Yeah. I think on Monday or Tuesday show. Yeah, I remember.
He was here.
We're doing everything possible.
But Mr. Nagbe, they say you let Mongo, you can jump from here to the tree or so. That's what it is. So.
I was going to say that. I don't know. Is it my time, Mr. So?
Don't mind. He's trying to provoke you. Don't mind him.
They say you will not be spectator in your own economy today, Mr.
Nagbe.
So listen, it's good to be here, and I'm sorry I came.
I
was engaged as well, but I saw my friend brother here, and I came to congratulate him. She said, apparently he got a letter on the Montreal City Council appointment. Are you going to?
I know the way you're coming from.
But listen, I came in when Terry was speaking. I agree partially with what he said, and I disagree with some of what he said. I really am shocked that Terry would sit here and say Kofa, the capital got burned on Kofa. I am shocked that Terry would stoop to that level. Kofa, the keys were taken from Kofa. He was not in charge of the capital when the capital got burned. But yes, the president was in the mansion when the capital got burned. I think it is not wrong to say the capital got burned on his watch. All right. I think that is a mischaracterization. Now, the other point you made, which I believe, which I'm losing, I lost my thought here, Terry. What was the second point you made?
That thing happen when you come.
Now, what can happen when you P4 on me?
Well, you know.
You're going in the wrong direction. Now you stop.
But let me say one of the major things that brought me in tonight. The show is almost ending. Look, there is a new idea that is being floated.
I'm praying for sit-in.
I wanted to float that here too. Maybe we can all bite on it. The problem, one of the major problem areas in Liberia is the legislature, you know. And a lot of us believe the magnet that is attracting people to the legislature is the benefit. They pay the money. Maybe we need to think on the idea of a part-time legislature. It is happening in other parts of the world. You know, there is a need. A group of people are put together. They come, they do a job, whether it's for 3 months, 4 months, 1 month. They get paid for that period. They go. But this whole idea, and I think it was Cisse who was talking about the enumeration. I mean, the compensation at the central bank. Yeah, I saw that clip today. If it is true, that is really mind-boggling. $56,500, and they didn't say per annum. I believe the clip said per month. How is that even possible in Liberia? How? So, you know, that is the issue I wanted to float here. I know we're floating here in other places. That's something I think we really need to think about. Maybe, look, it's just like the people are arguing here now. If you're not using the car every day, why are you paying mortgage on it? Maybe we should all go to car on demand. When you need a car, you go on your app, you get a car, you go where you want to go, you send it back. Because the car is parked almost 75% of the time, but yeah, you're paying for the whole car. These guys, they go to work twice a week, basically. And after that, the rest of the week, whatever they do, you know, why are we paying them so much money? So maybe the idea of a part-time legislature, I think we should all look into it. If it is worth pursuing, I think we should probably find a way, if the signature, whatever we need to do. But that is the issue that I have been discussing elsewhere, and I thought to put it to you guys as you're closing. Again, I didn't mean any disrespect to Terry and the rest coming in late, but I thought to come in and put that issue forward. Maybe that's something.
All right, let me come to the man from Delaware, from Joe Biden land. How the old man doing, sir?
The old man's doing great. He's keeping a low profile. Not going around and speaking at engagements and all of that. He's doing his thing undercover. He doesn't want too much attention. Okay. And that's the wise man. That's the wise thing to do.
Is he making any music like our former president or no?
No.
Sisse, please.
I heard there's a new release, oh.
Y'all leave Makube alone, man. I beg you, y'all leave Makube alone. We talk about law enforcement and security. Again, I can't emphasize more on the fact that the absence of law and order is anarchy. And we're beginning to see that gradually, and it continues to exacerbate because we have, a group of people who call themselves journalists in Liberia who runs, and I'm sure they're getting compensated for putting all these things on Facebook. When Facebook becomes your avenue for news reporting, which is a social media platform, then that's not good for our country. It's not good for our country. And we see these things continue to perpetuate the kind of behavior, the kind of character that we continue to see. And people make judgment. We're quick to judge people based on what we see and what we witness. So the Facebook thing is another thing. But let's come back to the professionalism of a police, of the security group. We're not going to even talk about the other folks, but I'm going to focus only on the police. Like Jerry said, that, a property mischief and damage to a property, vandalism, you vandalize somebody's vehicle, you scratch somebody's vehicle, they can take you to civil court for that, and you will be ordered to pay for the repair of that vehicle. Okay? So we need to, our people need to be trained. And to talk to my brother Sisse, the fact about it is that when we make reference to some of our old people, is because to people like Dempster or Edwin Luzon-Hammer, E. Hattie Smite, and all of those guys. When we made reference to them, we saw the trajectory, positive trajectory. Before the war, we saw the positive trajectory. If we had not had the war, we would be up at that level. That's why we make reference to those guys.
Even given 1979 Rest Riot actions?
The 1979 Rest
protest, not a riot, protest.
But I can
so the police action in there was saying the trajectory going up?
Wait a minute. The 1979, if we want to get into that conversation, it was one person who did the work.
Ask a simple question. The police action, was that a trajectory going up in 1979?
No, I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to answer that, my brother. I'm not going to answer that because there's a whole thing that's connected to that. When we talk about
that is the problem with when you romanticize the past, you gotta be willing to accept everything.
I did not interrupt you. I did not.
Okay, sorry, Chief. Go ahead. Let's talk about 1979 Rest protest.
I said, Namwe, that's also there. Yeah, I want part. You go ahead.
I'm interested to hear what his take is on the rights protest.
Yeah, go ahead.
Especially when we romanticize the past.
We cannot take one incident to define something. My thing here is this. I'm a strong advocate, and I've been saying it for a while, and I've written on it. I've made a recommendation to the people, the powers to be in Liberia, that the police department, in reference to 1979, needs to be taken away from the Department of Justice, from under the Ministry of Justice, and create a public safety commission to address the issue of police, fire, and first responder. That's what we need to see today, because the Justice Department cannot. In the 1979, the order came from Oliver Bright, who was the Minister of Justice at the time. Oliver Bright. He was advised by the powers to be to stand down and to monitor the rally, but we don't want to get into that. Let me just give you my rest of my closing argument. The closing
don't open that can because plenty of war inside.
That's what we can talk, but we don't want to talk.
I absolutely agree with. I agree with your assertion there. I really do agree with you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Man can talk all, but let me just say this: when we make reference to those people, it's not because we want them. We want to say that everything was all right then, but it was moving in the right direction. And we didn't have this huge interruption, and we didn't have this total case of anarchy, today would have been somewhere and measuring arms. Because I know Wilfred Clark to be the only chief of police who was a member of the International Chiefs of Police Association.
But that's a free membership. Just
no. I just said not free.
It doesn't require no qualification.
Hear me out.
Just free membership.
Hear me out.
Guys.
So why are you making a last minute qualification?
No.
Membership.
Let him try on a tabata, so we'll go.
You're not listening to me, so stop arguing with the messenger.
No, but the thing of free membership, don't make it sound like you are qualified for it, but pay for the chief when you there.
Listen to the message. The message here is that we were moving to a different level where we're getting respect by international communities. To have someone from our country serve on the International Chief of Police Association was a good image for our country. That's the point I'm trying to make. If you just let me know. If you just...
The point I'm trying to make to you is that it was not because of his quality, but because of his position.
Listen, man, I will tell you to Zolo.
Oh yeah, let's stop romanticizing the past. I said
no. You see, you're not.
So let him get his points. We are already out of time.
You have to understand the past to know the future where you're going, my brother. And that's all I'm trying to say. I think we've come to the point. We're not saying that today we can just abruptly take the 21st century and adapt it in Liberia. But I can tell you one thing. We need to start training. We just talked about the central bank, the salary at the central bank. And to give Bakube some credit for what he did when he first got into office, that salary was reduced. all of the props that you see today, that you saw today, does not include their salary. It does not include the salary. The salary is totally different from what that guy was receiving or what he's receiving and what's on the book for him to receive. And they were all masterminded by Ellen. But we don't want to get into that. I'm going to stay with security. We need to start training our people with the standards that we need to meet to be able to create safe environment and law and order. They got one red light close to Famuma House. I was in Liberia last April. That red light is on and people going through the red light and policemen standing up. And watching people going through the one red light. One place over there. No education to the public. The police were not cognizant of what was going on, or even if they were, I don't know what instruction they were giving them. And that's created social chaos and law and order, the neglect for law and order. Those are things we talked about when we come here. We need to have civil discourse and to have people respect each other. When you see the police officer, police need to be respected. Back those days, the police were well respected. That's what we're trying to say. And we need to go back to that. We need to treat our police so they can gain some kind of respect from the general public. But the April, the 1979 arrest fire created something that's a whole different conversation. And we were there at the time. We were the ones who were victimized. I can tell you that. So I was right down Boozer Quarter. But today, we've learned and we know how those things can be corrected. And for God's sake, we need to correct them. I just don't like people talking about this thing, oh, war going to come back. War is not going to come back. But if we continue on this path, then people will have unrest. Like like the Reverend Collins said, people need to sit out. The constituents need to step out and challenge their representative, but they need to be educated responsibly on how they can do it. I'll close. Thank you.
So Mr. Swart, give me 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds. Not touching on what he said. Just 30 seconds for something. I beg you. I think the idea that just got floated. I think that there was supposed to be a program, an offshoot. I think we need to do that. Because I think when we sit here, after we've sat in the muck for a long time talking politics and taking sides, anytime we propose a solution, it gets viewed in that lens.
Yeah.
And I think Mr. Nangbe just laid out a proposal here for another thing. But if we even try to talk about that, we get talked about in the lens of politics. So I think we should really think about this where we have a time when we come here, we do our politics, we all take side and lay in the muck. And then there is a time and a place where when folks come to know we're coming there is we're proposing solutions, we're arguing solutions, and we're moving forward. When we try to do that in one program, I don't think we will achieve that because people will just think, oh, that man talking about boy share, and that man talking like that CD share, and we're not taking seriously versus this is where we're coming to actually discuss issues, and this is where we go to talk our politics and talk our trash.
Wow.
That is just the one thing.
You got commission.
One day late and the dollar shut. And that's exactly what we talked
about. For me, I want to see the best out of life. You're the one get a problem. You're the politician.
You're right, sister.
You're the people with the white beard, all of the glasses.
I say nothing about my 30 seconds on my beard. I'm a people.
After making old man Zanzagawa lose his job, they took the time battery. We now going to tar one way.
You think that making power me? Is that about NCSS? You have to who's talking about?
Hey, my brother.
Mr. Barker, want you to fire somebody.
Yes, it did. To fire somebody. Yes, it did. I just want to speak on something quick at 10 seconds. There's something in law they call Maria. Maria is an intent.
Yeah.
It's an intent to commit a crime. Anything you do is not a crime until the Maria is applied. So that's what is the intent, even in the entire law. But anyway, I just want to bring it out to the attention. So people say, Walker and all these things is the main intent. It's called the Maria.
Oh, okay.
That's the good. Anyway, like you said, we are open. Let's have a good discussion. That's good.
You come on our side for better Liberia.
You're Liberia, Team Liberia, love Liberia.
What?
Mr. So where your side? What will come in? Because we got to know what the elbow will come there. So where your side?
You come when you come in my conference room. Then I will put a video on. You will know exactly where.
King Labria, love Labria.
You want to tell me Minnesota way here? They are accountable. You come in the conference room. We want to talk about
John
King Labria, love Labria, and Bill Labria. Good night.
Is John away?
The whole thing for me, I John Ohio.
Yeah. Mr. Bacon.
Yes, sir.
What a ferry the woman brought. Where is it running?
What ferry? It's still running in Bassa. What do you mean it was still running? I mean, could be kind of meditating running. What are you talking about?
Well, Mr. So you're picking for. You expect a lot of people, I mean, the fact that they put a issue in a work on water.
I know why he dropped that thing from who he just tried to down there.
But I try to say, Omega got advice from Rhode Island.
Why you took that in from?
Oh yeah, but Rwanda is the base. No, don't
exactly.
worry.
So you got advice from Rhode Island. Say, Omega, go about
yeah, we'll
it.
take it credit.
Mr. Soma part of delegation. He lives in the
don't put me in that. You're good night. Bye bye. Want to play ten now?
All right. Good night.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Mr. Bacon, have a pleasant evening. Well, folks, that does it this evening. I want to thank you so much for your time. To man, Bill, to Willie, to Ignat, Alfred, our own LPR station manager tonight, Saito Cry. We say thank you so much, Ketot, and all of you. Masa Kali, thank you so much for really getting in with us here this evening. Insurmountable. What's up, my man? Good. Thank you so much. How we're going to do it? Aaron, the Adolphus Zorsinian. Thank you so much for your commitment to this network. Sometimes you guys should just throw a message and come here for us to have this conversation. You see, these people here, these guys, everybody going right. All of these people, they don't want to get the problem that we are in today. They come here and give justifications. When their people screw up, then they go way on the shelf and start to get all of those little things and sort of piece them together and make a case for these people. And this is why we will hold them here. And they will explain. That's why they're having a headache. That's why they're taking the Tylenol, because they get us to be where we are. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. Hey, don't forget. Hey, Jody, my man, I get your call you. Fidel, how you doing? Mr. Hennen, Joe, Saturday, good to have you, sis. Orito, good evening. Good to have you here. I will call you. I know you called yesterday. We're just kind of crazy, but I'll call you so we can talk. Again, we always hear our prayers and talk goes out to one of our followers, very, very committed. The reason you haven't seen her yet a few days is because of the loss of her daughter, Mistress Esther Frederick, and that of Achimo. Daughter passed away right outside of Philadelphia, Chester, I believe, in the city. She will be laid to rest not this weekend, next weekend, the 28th, in Philadelphia, Chester City. We are doing everything possible because this lady and her husband has supported this network in time of desperation. When we ask, when we don't, out of their own will, will always send here. So it is time to reciprocate, to also stand with her. Our prayers and talk goes out to her during this sort of bereavement. 28 years old, it's a big lady, and especially person. So it's painful after all of the kids reach a reality womanhood for it to happen that way. Our prayers and talk goes out to her. Until then, folks, man, Aaron, senior player, man, good evening. Have a pleasant evening. We are also hearing, I talk to the folks, the former gospel artists. We are hearing the late Jimamant Walcott will most likely be laid to rest on the, I believe, the 14-15 weekend of next month. In Liberia, the venue is still under conversations we are hearing. Will be buried in her own town in the Nima Some are saying to bring her body to Monrovia. So a lot of conversation going. Our prayers and thought goes out to this lady and for all what she did. I am Alfonso Z, and so have a pleasant evening and good night from my end. Bye bye.